lack of punctuality, lack of organization, shyness, anxiety, bad time management, lack of attention to detail. How many of you here have some kind of a weakness that you struggle with all your life? We all have, right? Were you told as a young child that you must work overtime and try really hard to fix all your weaknesses, and when you become a more organized person, or a more outgoing person, or when you start paying attention to details, you're going to be more successful? Yeah. Now, what if I told you that you were told wrong? You will likely see average levels of success if you try to make up in your areas of weakness. You will, however, find extraordinary success if you discover your strengths and learn how to use those for maximum impact. A few years ago, I read this fantastic book called StrengthsFinder 2.0. Not sure if you're familiar with it, but this book is a result of the research conducted by the scientists at Gallup Institute. Gallup Institute is an organization in the US where they do research for human development, talent development. They use it for organizations, team building. And the premise of this book is simple. Lead with your strengths. The Gallup scientists came up with a list of 34 intrinsic talents that are most common in human beings, such as competitiveness, strategic thinking, etc., and developed a test that helps you uncover your top 5 talents that show up most often in work and business situations. Once it tells you your top 5 talents, it gives you actual exercises on how to exploit your talents and bring them to the forefront at work and in business, so you can learn how to leverage them into strengths. The book also tells you a little simple formula for strengths, and that is talent, which are your intrinsic talents, multiplied by the time that you put into it equals your strengths. Since most of us are not cognizant enough or trained formally to recognize the specific strengths that we all have, this book is a really good resource, and I highly recommend you all check it out. Now, the concept of focusing on strengths first and foremost goes against something we were taught growing up. Right? We were told that if we're weak at something, we must continue to improve on it, hammer away at it, till we get better. Our culture is heavily based on making up for our deficits, masking our weaknesses. We're hardly ever taught to recognize the little hidden gems that we have, and we keep honing it and spend most time on those, so we can make a difference in our lives and perhaps the lives of others too. Let me give you an example. Look at it this way. Say you were in high school again, all over again, and you discovered you have a talent for playing the piano. Say your talent was 6 on 10. You're a little rough around the edges, but you realize you definitely have some talents. You were, however, not a gifted athlete. Maybe your skills at basketball were 3 on 10. But you're in high school, and all your friends are playing basketball, right? So, and you're not realizing where your strengths lie. So you want to be hanging out with the cool kids. So you spend hours and hours every week practicing those layups, so you can maybe be with your friends and make it to the school team. And maybe you do. Maybe you finally do make it onto the school team. Maybe now you're average at best. Maybe now you're 5 or 6 on 10, 5.5 on 10. But what if you spend that same amount of time, those same hours and hours you spent every week, on practicing the piano? You're 6 on 10, would have become a 9 on 10. Maybe you would have become extraordinary at it. Maybe down the line, you could have given public performances or taught youngsters how to play the piano beautifully. But since you didn't do that, you remain average at piano, you stayed average at sport. Not extraordinary at anything. This happens in real life all the time. Work scenarios. In project management terms, it's called gold plating, and it's very, very common. I've worked with some people in my life who are very talented engineers, very talented, very great technically, great attention to detail. They love the stuff, and they take great pride in it, in their work. So since they're such great engineers on the team, what does upper management do? They promote them to managers. This happens all the time, and I know you can relate. But others, their real talents lay in the technical side. They wanted to really research things and calculate things and design great structures and great things that the world could use. And their real talents were not in the areas of managing teams and developing young talent. No matter how many leadership courses and empathy coaching the individual was put through, there were maybe average managers, maybe good managers. Maybe, but not brilliant at anything. If these technical individuals were allowed to stay in the technical role and this was recognized, and they were given opportunity to really enhance the technical skills, maybe they were given an R&D division to lead, they could have really excelled. But now there's a group of people under this average manager, and nobody excels. As final words, here's some food for thought for all of you. You see, we're all unique individuals with a specific set of talents and gifts. Find your strengths. Read the book Strengths Finder 2310 and insist on staying on your unique path. Don't think you have to do something and make up in a certain thing just because someone else is doing it. If someone else is really good at writing technical reports, let them do that. If you're really good at planning, focus on that. Instead of taking the path of most resistance and trying to compensate for your weaknesses, think how much more successful you would be if you spend the same times and channeled it into your strengths. Isn't the pursuit of extraordinary a much more rewarding use of your time and energy? Madam Toastmaster.